Every morning, the sun rises above the horizon. You see the light, you feel the heat, and you know exactly where it comes from. But what if I told you that Earth has another source of light above its atmosphere? You cannot see it with your eyes. You cannot feel its warmth. And it does not rise or set like the sun. Yet the atmosphere around you is glowing almost constantly. This hidden glow is called airglow. And it is happening above your head right now. Airglow is one of the strangest things happening in Earth's atmosphere because it makes the entire planet faintly luminous. The effect begins high above the surface, roughly between 50 and 300 kilometers up. That is far above where normal clouds form. The process starts during the day. Sunlight pours into Earth's atmosphere and bombards molecules and atoms with energy. Some of that energy is absorbed by oxygen, nitrogen, and other particles. The atoms become energized. They are pushed into higher energy states. But they cannot stay there forever. Eventually, they return to lower energy states. And when they do, they release some of that stored energy as light. That light is airglow. The remarkable part is that the atmosphere can continue glowing long after the sun disappears below the horizon. That is because the atmosphere does not instantly forget what happened during the day. Some of the chemical reactions and excited particles continue producing light through the night. There is even a form of airglow called nightglow. It is happening on the dark side of Earth while you are sleeping. If you were standing outside on a completely dark night, you would probably never notice it. Your eyes are simply not sensitive enough. Airglow is much weaker than sunlight and much weaker than the light produced by the moon. But sensitive instruments can see it. Satellites looking down at Earth have photographed this faint atmospheric glow surrounding the planet. And this is where things become even stranger. Airglow is not just one color. Different atoms and molecules produce different wavelengths of light. Oxygen can produce green and red emissions. Hydroxyl molecules can produce infrared emissions. Other atmospheric processes can create ultraviolet light that human eyes cannot see. So Earth is surrounded by a constantly changing layer of invisible and barely visible light. Imagine looking at Earth from space. The planet would not simply be a blue sphere surrounded by blackness. Around its edges, you would find an extremely faint luminous layer, a kind of atmospheric halo. And this glow can tell scientists what is happening high above Earth. Researchers use airglow to study the upper atmosphere, where ordinary weather satellites cannot give them the entire picture. They can observe changes in temperature, chemical composition, winds, and waves moving through the atmosphere. Some of these waves are enormous. A disturbance that begins much lower in the atmosphere can travel upward and influence regions hundreds of kilometers above the ground. Airglow can reveal those disturbances. In that sense, the atmosphere is almost like a giant screen. Invisible movements happening high above us can leave faint patterns of light. But there is another phenomenon that makes the hidden glow of Earth even more spectacular. Auroras. When charged particles from the sun interact with Earth's magnetic field and atmosphere, they can create brilliant displays of green, red, purple, and other colors near the polar regions. Auroras are far brighter than ordinary airglow, but they're related to the same basic idea. Energy enters the atmosphere. Particles become excited. And as that energy is released, light appears. The difference is that auroras are dramatic. Airglow is subtle. Auroras can paint the sky with ribbons of color. Airglow is more like a permanent whisper of light surrounding the planet. And there is something beautiful about that. Even on the darkest night, Earth is never completely dark. The atmosphere itself is producing light. There is also another important detail. Airglow is not caused by a second star hiding somewhere in space. There is no secret object orbiting Earth that produces sunlight. The phrase second sun is a way of describing something much stranger. The atmosphere is taking energy from our real sun and releasing some of it back as faint light. So the sun is still the original source. But Earth transforms that energy. The planet absorbs sunlight, stores energy in atoms and molecules, triggers chemical reactions, and then releases some of that energy as a dim atmospheric glow. It is almost as if Earth is echoing sunlight. And that echo continues even after darkness arrives. So tonight, when you look into a black sky and think everything above you is completely dark, Remember what is actually happening. Hundreds of kilometers above your head, atoms are releasing energy as faint light. The atmosphere is glowing. Waves are moving through it. Chemistry is taking place. Particles are interacting. And the entire planet is surrounded by a luminous shell that your eyes are simply too weak to see. There is no second sun rising over the horizon. There is something more subtle. Something almost invisible. A planet that glows from within its own atmosphere. And perhaps that is the strangest part. The darkness above Earth is not truly dark. It is only dark to us.